So North Melbourne in the first quarter going left to right of screen. The breeze is going in the opposite direction. The Saints have the breeze in the first term. Vidovic had to change direction, but wins the first hit out. Nicky Winmar first to the ball, but they close in on him. Armstrong scoops the ball up, and the umpire said it was a scoop stroke throw, and he's penalised him for it, and St Kilda will get the free kick, and it comes to Winmar on centre wing. Light breeze at the back of the Saints in the first quarter. The kick by Winmar up inside the 50. Lowe has kicked a heap of goals in pre-season, but it didn't quite carry to him, and King takes the mark for North. Out wide to Blakey. He's got it at half-back. Up short of half-forward in the Carey direction, almost with one hand. Any amount of North players there. It's scooped out by Stevens to Rock. Rock can't handle, tries to soccer through. The hand pass further afield, up short of the 50. Shanahan got Carey off the ball. Well done, Zilla for St Kilda. Wide to Burke. Little hand pass to Harvey. And the two champs combine. And Harvey's kick is perfect. Joel Smith marks on centre wing. He bounds away. Looks for Lowe, who's got plenty of space. One out with his opponent. It bounces to Lowe. He's poleaxed. Down goes Lowe. Oh, King got him in the first 90 seconds of the game. And King comes up, or Scholl it is, with the ball. The hand pass away, and Stewie Lowe is still down. What a disaster this would be for St Kilda. Blakey kicks out towards centre wing. It bounces all right from McKernan. McKernan settles the ball to Archer. It slews away from him against the breeze. Little hand pass. Armstrong on the left. Should be a goal. Carey! Well, he tried the mark, didn't take it. It's hit the post for a point. But the whistle's gone. It's to be a free kick to Carey in the goal square.
So a double whammy now for St Kilda, with Carey about to line up the goal, and Stuart Lowe looks as if he's in all sorts of problems. So he does have a look at him. He can see it coming. But the big jump there from King just got him head high, and having a look at him, he was pretty well unconscious when he was hit the ground.
Gee, it looked like it, didn't it? So Stewie Lowe, who's been an absolute focal point right through the pre-season, is down and out. At the other end, Carey kicks the first goal of the game.
Well, what a start to a game. Wayne Carey, the superstar, coming back from injury. A little bit of a question mark about him. He kicks a goal at the other end of the ground. The other superstar, as far as key forwards is concerned, is absolutely decked. But as you can see, he's up, and he looks to be, well, he's up and around. I'm not sure he's okay, but he certainly did cop a very heavy blow.
Look at his face there, Jared. He doesn't look too well.
It does look as if he was slightly concussed on the way down, Russell. Being picked up by Ian Fairley also, which is a bit of a surprise move. Mick Martin out to centre-half back.
Well, Carey's kicked the first goal. The ball is back to the centre, and it's Nathan Burke now over the top, trying to desperately to give it away. Vidovic not able to get it, kicked down by the North Melbourne centre player. Would have been Armstrong. Carey unable to mark it. Shanahan, can he recover on his left foot? Slews off. It's called play on by the umpire. Carey's over the ball. Too high, calls for the free kick and gets it. Carey about 80 metres, plays on quickly, drives into the forward line, looking for Arch over the top, unable to mark it. Simpson, clever, but now Harvey, cleverer. Looking good, holds the ball for Daniels, under pressure now by Martin. Good play by North Melbourne, and holding the ball.
I think the umpires have just got to settle down a little bit on this interpretation of the new rule.
Martin drives it up long, centres the ball. Oh, fly by Carey, unable to mark now. Archer, great kick to Allison, puts it straight through the middle for North Melbourne.
Once again, a dangerous start by North Melbourne. They're looking the goods. Pretty sharp handball there, and Allison just does what he does best, and that is just run on, receive the ball from Archer, and kicked a pretty handy goal. Invaluable players, guys that can continually get their 2 and 3 goals per game. Adds up to about 60 for the season, and that's no mean feat.
Bounce by umpire Handley. North have 2 goals on the board to nothing. McKernan fighting hard in the centre circle, but Zilla gets the hand pass to Anderson. A high ball to centre half forward. They're camped underneath it for a week. Martin, hand passed up in the air, then slaps the ball on. Burke applying a good tackle. It comes to Harvey, who floats the hand pass out to Zilla, moves inside 50 and goes long towards the goal square, but has hooked it and has kicked it behind.
Vital now for St Kilda just to settle down. They need to get the next score on the board. Stephen Zilla has been in outstanding form since coming to St Kilda. He has been an unheralded player, but really starting to make a reputation for himself. But after seeing their co-captain in Stuart Lowe hit the deck, they need just to settle and get one on the board.
Fairley now puts Lately under pressure, ducks the head, The umpire deems that too high, and a free kick. Laley, typical North Melbourne style, play on quickly, off to Scholl. Elects to kick long up towards the centre of the ground. McKernan unable to mark. Vidovic to mop up. Drives up looking for Lowy. Stewie Lowe unable to take it one-handed, but the umpire calls holding the man, holding his arm. Free kick to Stuart Lowe about 30 metres or 20 metres out from goal. Might as well be directly in front.
And this is just what they needed, the Saints. They needed the big bloke to stand up. As you can see, Ian Fairley's got him in the arm lock. And despite King just charging off, he was picked up the free kick. And now a 50-metre penalty applies. And Stuart Lowe waltzes in and gets his first. So a much-needed goal to St Kilda. They're 1-1-7. North Melbourne 2 straight kicks. They're 12 and have a pretty handy lead. As you see this ball coming out of the centre quickly by Vidovic. And once again, the infringement there, well paid by the umpire.
Jared, I've got a feeling that there might have been a North Melbourne player carried off the ground when Lowe went down. So you can check that one out. Someone that was on the wing, he was hit heavily just about a minute before Lowe went down. So I'm not too sure who it is. But anyway, back to the centre. 1-1 plays 2 goals. Vidovic straight to Burke off the ground. Clever kick. McLean's on the ground. Sirakoski a chance now. Gives it now to Tony Brown on his left foot. Looks pretty good. Straight through the middle for the Saints. St Kilda's second, leading by a point now.
They do play above their years, the Saints youngsters, and Tony Brown is a very talented player. In fact, he's got huge rap on him. Victorian Teal Cup officials say he's the best rover they've seen since Dale Waitman. So a great goal from Tony Brown and a good comeback early in the piece by the Saints.
Back in the middle, the bounce goes straight back over Vidovic's head. Knocked out by Stevens for North. McKernan followed up, playing the role of a rover. Bell fires out the hand pass. A chance here for Rock off the left boot. Great kick. Goal! Well, how quick was that from the centre bounce?
Well, it is outstanding when you see the ball just come straight out like a training drill from the middle of the ground. Peter Bell, have a look at the quick hands here. He comes in off the centre square. There's McKernan. In comes Bell, whips the ball out to Rock, and a pretty good goal by Anthony Rock on his left foot. He's had another solid pre-season, Rock. Good form early in the pre-season competitions, and he's back on Bardsley.
The ball's bounced up. McKernan was mainly responsible for that goal, moving then through the centre square. Then very, very mobile ruckman for North Melbourne. Scholl through the half-back line. Fantastic effort by him, driving up forward, looking for Carey and finds him on the chest. Too quick for Shanahan. Will probably kick from about 50 metres out on a slight angle. He's already kicked one. Dennis chewing the chewing gum as per usual. Looking very relaxed, Jared.
He was, and I've got to say that I spoke to Dennis before the game along with their football manager and Jeff Walsh, and they were most kind, just letting us know their lineup before the game.
Carey, deliberate shot, kicks from about 48 and hits the post. North Melbourne's first behind, 3-1, plays 2-1.
You might be able to just zoom in on Wayne Carey there. You can see the heavy bandages on his right thumb.
Pickett kicks in for the Saints. Bardsley still in the back pocket. Zigzagging the ball out of defence. Now Burke. 2 kicks, 2 marks, and they've advanced the ball about 15 metres, the Saints. Co-captain this year with Stuart Lowe. Another short pass, and they're not out of 50 yet. Zillow. Breeze at their back, the Saints, in the first quarter. North lead by a goal. Crowd getting a bit restless with the way Saints are moving. Up towards the centre of the ground. Big fly, no mark. Daniels back after 3 years in Sydney. Put it down the tackle, the umpire said. North Melbourne free. McKernan. It bounces off his ample chest outside the 50. Martin playing up the ground with Fairley picking up low. Down goes Martin. He didn't have much room to move there, Daniels, and they've lost it. The hand pass to Laidley, into Bell. who played 2 games with the Dockers. Stevens back to Bell. Centre of the ground to centre half forward. Blakey outnumbered, but marks. Magnificent mark by Blakey, who held the front position.
Very good mark by Blake in front of 2 St Kilda opponents. Eyes on the ball. Plays on quickly from about 60. Looking for Carey as per usual. Oh, chipped in by, who was that? Simpson. Nearly took a good mark, but well tackled again by Nathan Burke. Can St Kilda get it away? It's now chipped around by North Melbourne forwards. Bit of in no man's land. Bardsley now desperate along the ground, looking for the boundary line and finds it about 15 metres around from the North Melbourne goal.
Well, Russell, I bet you were told not to get in Plugger's way when you were at St Kilda, and I think Simpson might need to learn the same about Carey.
Yeah, I think so. Well, but anyway, beautiful day here in Melbourne. Rained all night, but expected temperature 22 and currently 21, so we're very, very close. Throw in, McKernan and Vidovic. Quick shot by Stevens. Across the face of goal, out of bounds on the full.
And Stephen Ziller will take the free. They're being frustrated by the North forwards and they can't find players in the clear. So this time Ziller just has to go for a bit of length. Sirakoski's there. The ball punched away close to the boundary line and over from Stevens and Harvey with him. And a throw in. Out towards about half forward for North. Robert Harvey. We understand he didn't do the bulk of the pre-season, but some of the form he displayed in the Ansett Cup was absolutely phenomenal.
He always looks puffed, Drew. He always looks as though he's out of breath. But then...
And he'll run about 3 marathons this afternoon and take bumps as well. Daniels fires the ball away, and here's Harvey. He's okay with the ball. Moves like a locomotive. Low outnumbered. Hacked out of the air. That was pretty clever by little Aussie Jones, but it didn't come off. King clears for North. Back towards the centre of the ground. Stevens looking for, he didn't do the U-turn, he looked for players coming towards him. Oh, Winmar with Bell. And Winmar was easily too high. Free kick to Bell. Look at this one.
Yeah, Nicky Winmar just comes in late, despite the fact that Bell was a little bit stooped. I think the free kick was certainly there. Well,
Carey's taken the mark about 68. They are certainly looking for him today. Goes short, great smother by Shanahan. Trying to put pressure on Carey. Over the top. Armstrong. Very scrappy at the moment. Now Nathan Burke has a chance to clear, and does. And kicks errantly and out of bounds on the full. Free kick to be taken by David King. Might as well be centre wing, kicking into the North Melbourne attack. Drives it up forward, looking for McKernan in front. Nearly a one-hander. Flicked off the ground to Rock. Here's a chance for a goal for North Melbourne. And there it is, straight through the middle.
So the North Melbourne little men are really in control of this game at the present time. North Melbourne now with a 2-goal lead. A pretty open affair, despite the fact there are a number of matchups. Stevens is running around with Harvey, and it looks like a North Melbourne player is coming off the ground. We'll get to that in just a minute as we see Anthony Rock just delivering that one straight through the middle of the ground, and he's had a good start to this game.
Well, Ian Fairley has just left the ground for North Melbourne, so Stewie Lowe has a new opponent. Mick Martin's gone back to the more traditional full-back. Capuano on the ground for North. North have moved it forward from the centre bounce. Bell prominent again. Here he goes, floating the hand pass over the top, and North running rampant. From the 50 right in front, the shot for goal is offline from Stevens and through for a minor score.
North Melbourne 4-2. St Kilda 2-1. Very even affair so far. Justin Peckett looking for the traditional St Kilda kick. Close to the boundary line. Finds Neil. Caught. Goes to play him now for Harvey to clean up. Taken. Could have been dropping the ball. Gerard, what do you think?
Well, under the interpretation of the new rule, I guess you're probably right there, Russell.
He didn't dispose of it by a handball or a kick. Anyway, throw in on the 50, McKernan. And I think it's a free kick to Darryl Wakeland. It is for holding. Straight off to Nathan Burke, quickly up to Anderson. Wants to move it quickly, does so. Not a really good handball to Daniels, but able to get it now back to Anderson. Here's a chance now. Bit of a mongrel punt by Anderson, over the top. North Melbourne have got the numbers. Good pressure by the St Kilda forwards. Tony Brown, not a chance. Roberts off the ground. Here comes Harvey, barging towards the ball. Good vision by Harvey off to Brown. Brown again, good vision, only for Peter Bell to clean up. Blakey now is caught by Burke. Great tackle by Nathan Burke. Ball allowed to play on. Good hard, tough football here at Waverley. Bell. Mongrel punt again onto the centre wing. St Kilda here again have the numbers. Peckett elects to drive it long. Looking for McLean. 2 against 1 and a good mark by Scholl.
Craig Scholl, centre of the ground. Disappointed in the last couple of seasons. Spent some time in the reserves last year after being a club best and fairest. Prior to that, Barsley the hand pass to Winmar. Beautiful hand pass to Daniels. And the Saints off and running. Going towards the outer side. They have Harvey out there and Brown. Brown's cleaned up by Laidley. No whistle on the play. Play on, said the umpire. Here comes Laidley to benefit from his work. Soccer's off the ground, but Daniels is first back there. Zilla. The whistle has gone eventually, and it's to be a free kick to St Kilda. The umpire trying to work out who's to get it, and the players are not sure.
I don't think anyone knows, Drew.
Zilla's got the footy, and he's told to give it to Brown. Brown's the last man to put up his hand and say, who, me?
Delayed reaction.
Comes in short to Peckett, playing well up the ground. Gee, there's only 2 players in about an 80-metre arc at the right-hand end of the ground. Here's Stewie Lowe, who's recovered from the early knock and marks this time in front of Martin.
Well, 5 years ago, Stuart Lowe to have absolutely no chance whatsoever at this shot at goal, but from even outside 50 now, he is still a very good chance.
Thumps a big one. It's straight too, but not quite there. And punts through by Scholl for a rush behind.
And already the absence of Peter Everett is starting to show, because that's exactly where he would have been had he been out on this ground, as Stan Elves just talks to his charges on the telephone. But having big Peter Everett's arms up in the last line of attack there would have been invaluable.
Simpson takes the ball from a direct kick out and off to Ross Smith. Traditional North Melbourne quick play on off that half back line. Very good for them all last year. The last 2 years got them to the preliminary final. Now Robert Harvey turns it over. Straight over to Sirakoski. Zilla slips over, but able to get it to Jones. Here's an opportunity for Jones. Kicks from 50. Looks pretty good. On the line and touched. Bad luck for Aussie Jones. Very, very good kick for a rover. And that's St Kilda's 3rd behind for the quarter. 8.5 minutes left in the first term. Ross Smith elects to kick short, straight to Roberts, but was clever enough to tap it back to Laidley. Oh, Winmar, clever one-handed, not paid. Now Rock, Crumbs, goes inboard to Allison. Dodges around, handballs off now to other running North Melbourne players, off to Armstrong. David King, the speedster, and looking quite from 50 is caught. Manages to get his kick. Archer, very clever, close to the boundary line. Still in play. Oh, through his legs at his bell. Off the ground. North Melbourne cannot get a goal here. They're finding it very difficult. Here's a chance for Carey. Around the corner, centre it, and straight to Robbie Neal in the goal square. Made a bit of a meal at then, Drew.
You'd wonder how North didn't score a goal out of that. The play through the middle was sensational. But David King just took it a little bit too far. Did the rugby player trick and tucked it under the armpit. Here are the Saints bringing it out. Smith. 11-point lead to North Melbourne. Kick by Smith, disappointing, dropped short. McKernan should have taken the mark. The hand pass is sharked by Simpson, meant for another teammate. Simpson's pass is perfect off the left, and it's marked here by Stevens. Mark Stevens, he might have to fill the gap for Longmire on the forward line. Back to Simpson, now to Archer. His opponent did well. Brilliant pick up by Allison. Carey in the goal square. Shanahan does well. And well done by Bartley. Once again, what looked like an almost certain North Melbourne goal came to just a point.
Christian Barsley was an ex-North Melbourne player, and he really has found his feet at St Kilda in the last line of defence. Improved late last season, and already this year has shown that he's capable of some outstanding performances. One of the players of the night series.
Justin Peckett. The traditional kick out is close to the boundary for the Saints, and it's no different this time. Too easy, straight to Bardsley. Bardsley kicks long up towards centre wing. Daryl Wakeman on the run in front of Armstrong. Marks easily and plays on, looking for Trianides. Trianides loping along. Manages to keep it inboard. very clever play now from McLean on his left. Looking for Lowe, but Capuano chips in front and must go back to take his kick from the mark.
And Andrew McLean, one of 3 first-game players for St Kilda. They've also got Robert Neal, who's playing his first game for St Kilda, although he did have some experience with the Swans.
Scholl from 50 on half-back. Kicks long, looking for McKernan. Unable to take the marks at the moment. Blakey caught well by St Kilda defenders. That was Harvey. Kicked up forward. Too many North defenders. Capuano again cleans up for North. Over the top. Clean bowls Darryl Wakeland. There's now a chance for Carey. Should be a goal, but great vision by Carey. Straight to Bell. Should be a certain goal for North. And it is.
Well, a handy 3-goal lead now to North Melbourne with just 6 minutes to go in this first quarter. And you see here it starts with Capuano across half-back. And the ball spinning end over end so quickly it invariably bounces high. And Carey comes up, and pretty good vision and a great captain. You could see the young bloke there, Peter Bell, in his first game for North Melbourne. And he thought he'd just stead him into it and get himself a goal. And he cleaned up pretty nicely.
Handy break now for North, out of the middle. It's won by Capuano. Sierakowski's there for St Kilda. Ball taken away from Harvey. Winmar's been quiet, just 2 touches so far. Well played by Rock. He's kicked a couple of goals. That was brilliant. Wakeland punches. It's not out of bounds just yet. Peckett keeps it in. Be unlucky to be free kick. Well done, McKernan. They worked in a tight space there, North. Anthony Stevens, a high ball inside the 50. Well, Bardsley all of a sudden realised he could mark it. Bell's there. Bardsley applies the tackle. Carey of the hand pass, missed his teammate. It's grabbed by Harvey. And they've turned it over St Kilda and now might make them pay at the other end. Towards the centre of the ground. And the mark is taken by Smith. One way, then the other. Round on the left boot. Low. Out position. The kick not quite carrying to him. And Capuano dropping in front to take the mark. Good to see Matthew Capuano back after a knee reconstruction last year. And a 50-metre penalty, and Stewie Lowe was in there, the co-captain, and was probably responsible for giving away the 50.
I think he just let Capuano know that he was coming his way. No malice.
Here's Matthew Capuano. A lead by Archer, very quick. Probably should have taken the mark once he got there. It's punched outside the 50. Bardsley sandwiched and buried. Now Mike comes in and will ball it up, and with a spade he might be able to get Bardsley up.
Well, I think it was Mark Stevens that dropped the shoulder, and North Melbourne have certainly been doing the bruising in this first quarter.
Oh.
There he goes. We've already seen Stuart Lowe cop everything, including the kitchen sink, as Andrew McLean comes off the ground, and he's replaced by Dean Anderson.
No one wins the tap out. Bell, McKernan. Still a bit scrappy, well tackled by Bardsley. Good recovery.
And a good decision from the umpire, because there was no way known that Stevens had a chance to get rid of that ball. It's a pretty awful sight for any North Melbourne supporter. Ian Fairley is just hobbling along the boundary line with his right knee obviously taped.
And there was a free kick given against Sierakowski to Corey McKernan for the ruck duel, for holding or pushing. McKernan will kick from about 35 metres out on a slight angle and will shoot for his first goal this quarter. Kick looks pretty good, and it is good. That kick hits the post.
You've got to be pretty good to hit that post.
That's what I was saying, Drew.
Carey's had a poster, and now McKernan a poster for North. 9 scoring shots to 5. North Melbourne well in charge. And with 2 that missed by centimetres, they could be a fair bit further in front. Gerard, a bit worrying that Winmar, who was best in the night grand final last week, has been blanketed so far by Blakey.
Yeah, well, John Blakey is an outstanding player in that role. He can go on the offence or in the defence, and sounding like a baseball coach or a basketball coach, but he is certainly a tremendous player. And if St Kilda are to win, they need him to fire. And they're really falling down at centre half forward at present. I wouldn't even be surprised if Winmar could finish there.
Now the Saints have worked it up towards centre wing. They have the breeze in this first term, so to be outscored by North is a bit of a worry for the team which is just fresh off a night grand final win here last week. What might North do when they have the breeze? Dean Laidley hasn't got a big gap in his teeth. It's just the North Melbourne colours on the mouth guard. Dean Anderson's just come off the bench.
Well, that's got to be a free kick. He didn't take possession of the ball. It was smart play there by Armstrong. He just kept the ball in front of him, I should say by Anderson. And, well, the umpires have got to get it right.
The bookies reckon North are the favourites, 9-4 on. St Kilda, despite last week's win, 6-4 against. Anderson tries to go off the ground and misses. Little Aussie Jones. He still looks like about a 15-year-old playing league football, and this is now his second season. Oh, excellent mark by King. And King, who was the man who made Stewie Lowe's lights go out for a minute or two earlier in the quarter. Fortunately, they came back on.
But they might still be a bit dim, though, Drew. Anyway, King kicks it up the centre wing. The ball's bouncing back towards the St Kilda half-forward line, but only to be rebounded again. Driven again, lately in the way. And Gerard, you made a point that they were breaking down centre half forward. What had happened in the past, normally Winmar may go to full forward and Lowe may come out to centre half forward. That happened when I was playing, but
that was
see what happened.
35 years ago, yeah. Unfortunately, Russell. But I think they have to find an answer at centre half forward, because they're just turning it over each time.
Here's a chance now for Zilla to try and eat his. One of the first gamers for the Saints. Will have a deliberate shot from about 45, 50 metres out.
Interesting. They drafted Bell before Trianides, and Bell's been all right. He's had 8 touches.
Trianides had a pretty good game in that night game last week, Drew. Kicked a good goal off the ground. Left footer. Kicks. Ooh, it was a bit of a mongrel putt, and only one behind.
We're just looking for the spark at the present time in this game. North Melbourne appear to be in control, but we know that St Kilda, if they can get their young midfielders, and of course they're more well-known and more prestigious type of midfielder, the likes of Harvey, the Rolls-Royce of their machine. Well, if they can fire up, well, then this game will be really up for grabs.
Ross Smith kicks in short to late. It's all a bit too easy at the moment. Smith plays on and kicks it straight to Aussie Jones. Could be an expensive turnover for the Northerners. Stewie Lowe in front, and great strong mark by Lowe. Big hands. And this could be a big goal.
Well, it was good play by Jones, because you could see that Lowe was one out. And one out against anybody, Stuart Lowe is going to be half a chance. And Dean Laidley simply just not big enough or tall enough to affect the spoil.
Directly in front. And Lowe puts it straight through for his second.
So North Melbourne now lead by 2 goals, but the Saints continue just to hang on. Last night, Melbourne versus Geelong, we saw a number of mistakes made, simple mistakes coming out of defence. And once again, we just see how costly a poor kick from the last line can be, as Aussie Jones turns the ball over, gets it down to buckets low, and he kicks his second for the quarter.
Just over a minute remaining in the term, and the margin back to 2 straight kicks. Another one would be handy for the Saints before the break, but that's not coming out of the middle in a hurry. Just to clarify that with Trianides, he did the pre-season with North Melbourne and was set to be drafted by them, but they surprised many by picking Bell ahead of him, and Trianides wasn't left when North had their next pick. The Saints grabbed him, and he finished up playing in the night premiership. But North, I think, on the evidence of this first quarter, would be very happy with their new recruit, Peter Bell. 4 kicks, 4 hand passes. Well, the ruckman crashed to the ground before the ball arrived. There's Wakeland. That is Shane Wakeland, who was named as an emergency but replaced Everett in the selected side. The dreadlocked one isn't taking his place today. Here's Winmar, who's been very quiet. Across the ground he goes, finding a bit of space for Daniels. Time running out, 6 seconds to go. Move it quickly. He's not to know. It's going to run out before they can add a score, unless Lowe can mark this. And there's the siren. Wakeland at the back has a snap, but had the kick clearly after the siren. And that is quarter time here at Waverley in this round 1 clash. North Melbourne went in as favourites, and they look the goods at the moment, because into the breeze they've outscored St Kilda in this first quarter. And before he addresses his players, Dennis Pagan having a bit of a think and
playing with the board.
Yeah, looking at the jigsaw puzzle that he has there. Here's Kelvin Moore coming down with Gary Colling. And a new addition to the match committee this year is David Glascott, who's back from a few seasons in Perth.
It's interesting to note also, Drew, that St Kilda huddle will traditionally break up into defence, centres and forwards, and Kelvin Moore, being the great fullback from Hawthorn, generally will take the defenders. Gary Collin will take the on-ball players, and Glascott will also take a group. That allows Stan Ells to reflect and also have a look around and discuss some moves and go to individual players and give them a bit more time to concentrate on how to improve the game for the second quarter.
So at this very minute, you'd think that Stan Alves has a little bit more to do, because North into the breeze, won it by 2 quarters. They lead 5-4, 34 to St Kilda 3-4, 22.
Trying to get some more height up into the forward line, and Vidovic not on the ground, I don't think.
And Sirakoski might have won that hit out, but unfortunately it went to the opposition, and Rock, his left footer, goes out very wide. Simpson, just in from the boundary line, takes it out and will have a throw in. Adam Simpson there, 2 games last year, so just embarking on his 2nd season in the AFL, and a chance for him to step right up. McKernan and Sirakoski. Sira certainly giving away height. McKernan wins it. Once again it goes to the opposition. Zilla, Anderson, Burke. Round the corner with his kick. It was touch play on, so it wasn't going to be a mark to Harvey. Scrappy start to the second quarter, and the ball off Wakeland out of bounds, and we'll have a throw in at the interchange gate about centre wing.
And Mark Stevens now at full forward for North Melbourne. He's been picked up by Rob Neal, ex-Sydney Swan, and a player that was in great form in the night series.
Sirakoski from behind gets the punch again, gains about 10 metres, and another throw in on centre wing. Maybe that St Kilda have been used to being playing in the night. They're not used to the day. Red ball, yellow ball, could be a difference, you don't know. Anyway, they're down by a couple of goals. Capuano this time. Harvey, very scrappy. Burke, smothered off the boot. Stacks on the mill. And another ball up, centre wing.
Could I also suggest it may have something to do with the enthusiasm of the celebrating?
No, it was very quiet actually. They had a good night Saturday night, but then they were back down to earth on the Sunday for training.
Good boys.
That's what we've been told. Allison now bursts away, tackled well by St Kilda opponents. Oh, good bump by McKernan, but Sirakoski rides it well. Tony Brown meets it very solidly, only to ricochet off his boot. Scholl now. Oh, good tackle by Wakeland. Brown off to Burke. Now here is a chance for St Kilda. Looking for Stewie Lowe. Lowe able to give it to Aussie Jones. Could be a miracle kick, and straight out of bounds on the full. Disappointed Aussie. Tried to centre it, but to no avail. Don't agree with that, Jared?
Well, I think he might have been looking for the big sticks on that one. But when you're on the burst and there wasn't anybody really to centre it to, you've only got one option.
He was playing for the usual round pockets with a ground that's 15 metres longer. He hadn't bargained on the square pockets. Off hands to Harvey. Saints have started all right this quarter. Harvey backed into trouble. The umpire pings him for holding the ball. Now that's one where he certainly had a chance to get rid of it, but still, Jared, the tackler, they are rewarding the tackler, but it is red hot on the bloke with the ball.
Well, it even appears to be more hot than in the Ansett Cup, because whilst Harvey certainly had a chance on that occasion, he did appear to get rid of the ball.
I thought so. So Archer takes the free kick and finds McKernan on centre wing. Corey McKernan centering the ball to centre half forward. Carey's there, doesn't climb for it. Shanahan gets him out of the way with good body work. Bardsley comes straight at it. Here's Carey now. Slides the tackle, gets it across to Scott, who's bowled over. Shanahan looking okay. Through Anderson it goes. Peckett. And short pass out of defence, and the mark taken by Daniels.
Daniels plays on quickly off to Anderson now. Missed the last couple of weeks with a hamstring, but seems pretty fit. No one can mark lately now to clean up. Desperate sort of a handball over the top. Put Zilla under the hammer, including Archer. Now Nathan Burke for a chance. Trinides off to Brown. That's good football by St Kilda. Now can they make some of this over the top of Stewie Lowe's head? Capuano under a bit of pressure. Next to handball, putting Mick Martin under pressure now. King, North Melbourne able to clean up. Finding Archer on the half-back line. Held up by Wakeland, who was a late inclusion for Peter Everett with a sore ankle and a fractured jaw. Archer kicks up long, looking for McKernan. Anderson off the front of the pack. Shanahan unable to. Now back to Carey from Simpson. High ball up towards the 50. And a good mark to the North Melbourne forward in Mark Stevens. Stevens plays on quickly and offline for one behind.
Just getting back to that tackle, the problem is that it's awarded for a perfect tackle. That's the name under which the rule goes. But just laying half a hand on a fellow isn't, in my opinion, a perfect tackle. You've got to actually retard him. And Rob Harvey is a master at shaking off tackles.
You and I both agree that Harvey disposed of the ball anyway.
Correct. Did he kick it or handball?
Handball.
Correct. Bardsley now in the pocket. Cannot find anyone. Looks a bit bemused. North Melbourne forwards are doing very well, putting a lot of pressure on the back line. Elects to kick long. Looking for McKernan, over the top of Burke, and takes a good mark.
That's why Bardsley took so long, because he looked up and all he could see was McKernan and Capuano. His option was Nathan Burke, a midget in comparison to those two.
Not real good disciplined play by the Saint followers. Over the top of everyone now, Scott. Off to Blakey, around the corner. And straight onto Wayne Carey's chest. It's all a bit too easy. Carey plays on quickly on his left boot. And kicks one behind. I think everyone's stopped.
There's some conjecture as to whether the ball had gone over the line before Carey had marked it.
Let's just see exactly where the ball is when he marks it. Looks pretty well inside the line. His first step was inside the line. He made a meal of the shot at goal.
Harvey fires the hand pass to Daniels. Daniels off the right boot. Perfectly to Brown. And perfectly from Daniels kicking. Haven't said it that many times over the years. And St Kilda going forward again. That was Neil getting the ball up. Smith low.
Oh.
He's crunched to the ground and no free kick. It comes to the back. Try and eat. He stops the goal. And Stewie's down again. But at least this time he has the consolation of a St Kilda goal.
Well, the umpires are absolutely incensed because Steve Handley, the umpire, believes that that wasn't a free kick to Stewie Lowe, despite taking one very high. And fortunately for St Kilda followers, Traianides bobbed up with the goal to lessen the blow.
That was Jason Traianides in his league debut, getting his first AFL goal.
Now the Bronx cheer goes up to Nicky Winmar. He gets a free kick in the centre of the ground. I think the cheer might have been for the umpire, Jeff Caulfield. Winmar looks to play on quickly, finds Sirakoski. Now the game stopped, it started again. Advantage has been paid. Winmar was belted behind the plate, and now Sirakoski's given it straight back to Archer. Not good football by the Saints. Archer off to Martin, who's running through the back line. Good defensive punch by Sirakoski this time. Now can Bartley pick it up? Air shot by Stevens. Not a real good flowing game at the moment, but hard and tough stuff. Nathan Burke on the bottom of the pack.
All these voices which have been just put in the bottom drawer over summer are starting to find some voice now. Yes, it's the start of the footy season. We can bag the umpires again. It's fantastic.
McKernan to Neil. Now Daniels. Good body work by Daniels, keeping his eye on the ball. Anderson. Oh, Allison, good quick hands. Dean Lanley off the back line. Chips it in short to Stevens now. Missing the finals with that tragedy with the knee injury. And straight to Wayne Carey, but in a tight angle in the forward pocket. Bit of experience here from Carey's run right around, played on quickly, and puts it straight through for a behind. I think he's missed it. He has. Very, very close.
Well, he's kicked 1 goal 3, Wayne Carey, and one of his points was a poster. Couldn't blame him for that, but his last 2 have been those run around in a circle type affairs. St Kilda bring the ball in. Neil. Capuano's gone off for North, replaced by Roberts. Blakey's making it tough for Winmar again. And the ball goes out of play. Well, Nicky Winmar, who won the Michael Tuck medal here last Saturday night for best on ground, just 4 possessions, And there's John Blakey, who's wearing him like a glove. McKernan to do battle with McLean. McLean, the redhead. He played in a premiership side in Tasmania last year. Did all right then. The ball's gone out of bounds. He played for North Launceston and won the medal for best on ground in the grand final over there, and was taken early in the draft, pre-season. And Capuano, he started on the bench, had a bit of a run. He's back there. He's coming back from a knee reconstruction.
And there's Ian Fairley. I wonder how that knee's going. Doesn't look too good.
Right in the eye.
Bit of headhunting today, Gerard. Stewie Lowe's got a couple of good ones.
I think it was just an errant finger, which you can see there. He's just holding his right eye. But I think St Kilda have just got to take the pressure off Winmar. Let's just have a look at this hand in the eye there from McLean. We've got to try and get Winmar into the game. With only 4 possessions to date, he really doesn't look as if he's going to go up that notch, and perhaps even a move to the half-back line just to let him go forward for 5 minutes would help.
Blakey looks for Carey and finds him. What a clever mark by Wayne Carey. That is why he's one of the best centre-half forwards in the country. Using his body, Shanahan's no slouch.
Well, he's taken more marks than anybody, 6. He's coming up for his 9th kick, which is more than anybody.
Great effort.
And with stats like that on the forward line, you'd think by now he'd have 4 or 5 goals, but he's got 1.
And 3 behinds. 2 posters. Carey's directly in front, will kick from about 55. Will it make the distance? It does, and it's another behind. He's 4th. Carey's 4th behind. North 8th behind. 5-8-38 to 4-4-28.
We'll just have another look at Wayne Carey taking that mark. But what his instructions appear to be is to get Shanahan away from full back, get him up onto that half-forward line, and just trying to lose him around that area. Shanahan is more comfortable when he's got the safety of the square and the goal line behind him.
This is Sierakowski, still in the back pocket. I'm not too sure what to do with it. The crowd getting on his back. They're having a field day. They're on the umpires' backs. And here's Robert Harvey, superb player. There was plenty of discussion in the off-season that both Harvey and Lowe might go to Fremantle. Well, they both stayed on for the Saints. And it paid dividends straight away with that night premiership last week. Harvey's kick to centre wing. McLean can't quite mark. In front, Jones. Perfect disposal by Jones. Nobody in front of you, Jason Daniels. He's being run down by Archer. Daniels went on the curve and finds Lowe. Clever. Any amount of players out inside centre half forward. And I don't like Lowe's angle to goal from here on the boundary line. He's about 35 metres out with the shape of this ground at the moment. And look at the view that he has. That
You can
ball
also see how the boundary line has been slightly rounded off from the night series, about 2 or 3 metres there.
It has. Very tough shot for goal. Across the face. Rush through for a behind.
Well, the Saints probably should have done better with that one. They had more numbers on the forward line. Stuart Lowe just went back for the set kick when perhaps maybe the quick kick to the top of the square would have been better.
Well, the Saints have managed 1 goal 3 in this quarter, and the Roos 4 behind, so not much happening on the scoreboard.
Scholl kicks up towards centre wing. McKernan in front of McLean, too good with one hand. Bit too much skill and experience. McLean's first game for the Saints, but good effort by him at least. Now Allison. Armstrong, clever tap. Keeping the ball moving to King. Bit of fumbling going on. Can't pick it up again, scoops it out. Roberts has a chance, but now King, too quick for him. Laidley, rushed. Peter Bell. Now a quick handball, a rush kick by Stevens. High ball up forward, looking for Carey again. Oh, moves Sierakowski out of the way, but now Winmar to clean up. Winmar chips into Barsley. Barsley, high ball puts Sierakowski under a lot of pressure. Not a very good move by Barsley. I think he realises that now, but very difficult for the Saints. I think what should happen is Stewie Lowe should move up to centre half forward. They don't have a lot to kick to, the Saints. Now, Rock for North Melbourne's first for the quarter, but straight across for their 5th behind. Rocks kicked 2 goals, both of them in the first quarter, and his first behind for the day.
Yes, well, North certainly haven't taken advantage of running with the breeze in this second quarter. They're goalless for the quarter, and the only goal to come was into the breeze by Trianides after it appeared that Stewie Lowe might have won a free kick. Now here's Peckett. And the decision-making was pretty slow here today for the Saints. Up to centre-half back. Shanahan takes the mark. Brown's coming off the ground for St Kilda. It was great to see Joe McLaren playing his debut, getting his first run, an 18-year-old. Here's Trianides, who's already kicked a goal in his first game. They're debuting 3 players today, the Saints. There's Aussie Jones getting the ball back to Anderson, poking it over the top, and there's McLaren just on the ground, marks low to the ground. Joe McLaren, who came from the Geelong Falcons, pick number 22 in the draft. Archer thumps the ball down, tries to rove his own ball. Clever by Winmar. It goes past Trianides, the hand pass Jones, and McLean gets the goal. Daniels gets the goal.
And maybe, Drew, that was the spark we were looking for. It was just a small involvement from Winmar, but it was certainly advantageous. As we see this ball come in quickly, Glenn Archer perhaps attacks the footy harder than anybody else in the AFL, got in front of Stuart Lowe, courageous in itself. And there you see, after a succession of handballs, Jason Daniels just on the line there. He wasn't going to miss it from there, and in fact his kicking's improved.
Isn't it amazing when the St Kilda centre line get the ball moving? It's really exciting stuff for the Saints and big scoring opportunities. Anderson, one of those, getting a lot of touches. Into Daniels, the last goal kicker. Good strong mark. Off to Burke. Here's a shot now, straight to McLaren. Just come on. Been involved with that last goal, McLaren. Kicks in while looking for Lowe. Oh, great strong mark by Stewie Lowe.
Well, this bloke is the most phenomenal athlete, or one of them anyway, going around in the AFL at present. He is such a huge fellow. He would be frightening, and for those people listening in rugby league country, he would make one of the most outstanding second rowers that Australia has ever produced. Fortunately for St Kilda, he was born in Melbourne.
Never heard of the game.
Lowe from about 48. And too much to the left and one behind. That's his first for the game. 2-1, Stewie Lowe.
And Dennis Bacon would be a little bit concerned because all of a sudden the Saints look like a different combination. Not surprisingly, Winmar's had a couple of little important touches and they're getting the ball quicker down to Stuart Lowe.
Laidley finds McKernan on the 55. Plays on quickly up towards centre wing, looking for Carey. He's had plenty of touches. It's his second opponent. He started on Shanahan, now he's got Sirakoski. Plays on quickly to King. Quinn too quickly. Kicking inboard. Good kick, but not good enough for Bell. Now, off the ground. Roberts. Oh, good play by Peckett. Rushes it through from behind. Good pressure by the St Kilda defenders. Not letting the North forwards get their hands on the ball.
North's lead is whittled down to 4 points. It was 12 points at quarter time. So most of the scoring in this game has been done at the right-hand end into the breeze. Zilla had time for a bit of a fumble. Kicks to centre wing. Space for the Saints here. And the mark taken by Aussie Jones. He balks the hand pass. Works around his opponent. Up to Wakeland. Close to the boundary line. And Scholl takes it out for a throw-in at half-forward for the Saints. North Melbourne's last goal, 21-minute mark of the first quarter. So they started in a blaze of glory. They decked Stewie Lowe in about the first 90 seconds, but since then the Saints have recovered, and their best patch in the game has been in the last 3 or 4 minutes. Here's Harvey, first to the ball. Trouble picking it up. Carey met him, and it was socked away from Carey by Sirakoski, and the ball back out of play. Just for the record, Wayne Carey is so far 7 marks, 10 kicks and 2 handballs. Useful unit.
And that's only halfway through the second quarter. Carey in front gets another possession. This time it's a punch towards his own goal from the throw-in. Kicked off the ground by his teammate. Now it's a chance for Bell. Can give it to Stevens and does. Stevens gets balanced, shoots and puts it through, straight through to the middle for a great goal.
steadying goal there by Anthony Stevens, one of the senior players here at North Melbourne, a State of Origin player, an outstanding ruck rover for the Kangaroos, and he can do a number of jobs just on more attacking type of players, but what he can also do is kick some pretty handy goals.
Margin back out to 10 points with just under 7 minutes to go to half-time. McKernan in ruck beats McLean. The whistle's gone. McLean over his neck, and the free kick to the North big man. Kick by McKernan towards the outer side. No Carey in this contest. Little blokes at ground level. Zilla for St Kilda. Then Fly hacks it out of the air. That was clever. Up to Winmar, and that one came from Neil. Kick by Winmar. McLaren's done some terrific things in the few minutes he's been there. Gets it to Winmar. The whistle's gone. It's going to be a St Kilda free kick, and it's coming back to young McLaren, a recruit from the Geelong Falcons. And if Winmar has lifted, what about the effect of this young fella who's come straight on and in league football is playing like a veteran in his first 5 minutes on the field? Wakeland marks. Shane Wakeland, who was a last-minute inclusion for Everett. Stewie Lowe leads from the goal square. It's in that direction. Martin comes to the back. It's a free kick to Lowe. Martin got over his shoulder.
Bit of a delayed reaction, I think, wasn't it?
Was. I think the umpire was entitled to see where the ball had gone and who was next going to get it. There were 3 North blokes just waiting to swoop.
So it was good umpiring, Drew.
I believe so. Now Stewie Lowe has kicked 2 goals, 1. Lining up for his 3rd. He's been kicking 6s, 7s and 8s all through the pre-season. You'd reckon if he stays fit, he'd kick 100 this year. But I suggest not if he keeps doing that. That should have been a certainty.
Well, both sides are missing goals that they should be just eating up, and at the end of the day, it's going to probably cost North Melbourne unless they really do put some distance between themselves and St Kilda, because I would think that St Kilda would have more run in their legs.
Ball's out of bounds on about the 65-70 metre mark from the St Kilda goal, due to an errant kick from a North Melbourne defender. Went straight over the line. Scholl in the ruck against Wakeland. Good smother now for Ross Smith to clear on his left foot up the centre wing. Carey in front again. Too good. That's his 8th mark, Carey. 5 minutes left in the second quarter. 10 kicks, 8 marks.
That's amazing.
But he hasn't kicked 2 truly.
Oh.
He's only kicked 1 4 so far, and not a real good kick in play. Now, Joel Smith. Here's a chance looking for Stewie Lowe. Lowe held out well, and interference on McKernan by Stewie Lowe, trying to get past Martin, I think.
I think he might have even played the mark.
Oh, did he? Yep. Good call, Jared. McKernan now looking for Mickey Martin, who's gone up the field, unable to mark. Lowe's followed him. Martin now picks up the kick. Stevens off the ground to Bell. Good first quarter with Bell kicking a couple of goals. Barsley now cleans up. Off to Robbie Neal, ex-Sydney Swan. Round on his left foot, looking for Joel Smith. Able to keep it in. Very clever by Smith. Legs to kick long, looking for Nathan Burke in front. Good punch by Scott, and it beats everyone out of bounds on centre wing.
Well, the crowd over there having a good hoot about something. Just getting the football voices back into tune. 4.5 minutes to half-time. Scholl, Vidovic just off on the ground, replacing McLean. Harvey tries to keep the ball in. It just goes out, and we'll have a throw in. Well, I think that there are a few cobwebs about St Kilda's start to this game, but there's evidence now that they're starting to motor a little bit. The margin is 9 points, North in front. Vidovic wins the hit out. Can't find a teammate. Stevens pops the ball up to King. King on the run, kicks to centre half forward. Carey again. Oh, should have eaten that one. Daniels shrugs the tackle. And a short pass across to Anderson. Sweeps a hand pass to Jones. Grey and overcast here at Waverley again after a sunny start. Anderson, they're going backwards. Zilla eventually knows which way they're going. Kicks to half forward. Wakeland the only hope. Off hands to Trianides, the ex-soccer player. Wakeland hand passes up in the air to no one. Burke was there, taken out of it by Laidley, grabbed by Blakey. His kick back towards the centre of the ground. Shanahan well placed. Can't mark even with the gloves. Anderson
looking for some open space and finds Jones now. Jones elects to kick long up to the 50. Big pack. Oh, Lowy and Wakeland. Unable to grab it. Zilla now, strong work. Now McLaren's been on for 10 minutes and sparked the Saints. Robbie Neal's come up from the back pocket to Barsley. Very, very scrappy game. Crowd are calling for holding the ball. Good tackling by Wakeland. Now's a chance for Armstrong. Has some space. He's got a panic. Looking to kick long and does. Should be a goal. But kicked for too long for Allison. Very, very frustrating for Allison. One behind. Takes North to 6-11. St Kilda 5-7. 10 points the difference with about 3 minutes left in this first half.
Well, one of the coaches is going to come out of this with a win, and they'll probably wonder how. Because both Stan Alves and Dennis Pagan would be scratching their heads wondering, well, what's going wrong here after all the pre-season we've done? It's a scrappy round in circles type game. Here's Sierakowski. Possession play that the Saints are using here just to keep the ball and work it in short movements up the ground. Now Shanahan goes for a bit of distance with his kick. No mark, off hands to Archer. He thumps it back from where it came. Big climb at the back, no mark. Stevens gets the hand pass back to Rock. Rock's shot for goal is offline. He started the game well with a couple of goals in the first quarter. Now has 2 goals too. 11 points the margin. It had been 12 at quarter time.
Well, both sides are playing as if it's their first practice game. Their skills just really aren't standing up to the extra pressure of premiership points. They're playing pretty scrappy football at the present time, and there'll be concerns in both camps. Obviously St Kilda because they're behind, but also North Melbourne because they would have seen the way that St Kilda, if they can click together, can really kick 6 or 7 goals in a burst.
Well, North have kicked 1-8 this quarter, and St Kilda have kicked 2-3. Harvey off the pack, very clever, typical Rob Harvey, but being caught so far. Now back into it again. That's a better handball from Banger. Straight to Aussie Jones, using a bit of pace, takes them on. 3 or 4 bounces on his left boot. Looking long for Lowe. Good punch by Scott and Martin. Ball goes towards the boundary line and Jones unable to keep it in.
Well, it was an absolutely outstanding punch there from Scott, because if the ball had slipped behind him, he had his direct opponent in Nathan Burke just staying down on the ground. It would have been a soda of a goal for him. Mick Martin seemed out of the contest, so well done by Robert Scott.
Winmar coming over the top of the pack. A miracle goal is needed by the Saints. Burke's in there as well. Unable to get it away. Child calling for a cab. And a ball up. Gavin Dorr to bounce it. Deep in the pocket.
Looks like he's borrowed John Nichols' shorts.
The new kit. Nice powder blue boundary umpires and good stripes on the field umpires. Desperate stuff by Harvey. Daniels, a good tackle on Ross Smith. Winmar now. Break it out for Jones. Dummies. Gets a scrangly kick. Now to Archer. High ball. And straight to Robbie Neal, the only one wanting to go for the ball. From about 55. Needs to move it quickly. Under a minute left. He may think he can have a shot. No. Looks for Stewie Lowe on the burst. 3 on 1. Now here's a chance for Laidley. Harvey. Dances around and kicks a behind.
Fitty.
Well, one of the most graceful players the game has produced. His sideways movement, his lateral movement, if you like, is second to none. But unfortunately, that time he just couldn't find his accuracy. And despite having 13 possessions, he still just hasn't really impacted on this game today. So he, along with Nicky Winmar, have still got a bit to offer the Saints.
Stevens from the back pocket up the centre wing. Neal has another chance to put the Saints into attack. Across the ground he goes to Anderson, who had to deal with Rock to protect himself. And the mark to Dean Anderson. And time has run out here in the first half. There is the siren. It is half-time at Waverley. And a pretty scrappy affair, especially in that second quarter. And it's a 10-point lead to North Melbourne. And the players taking a deep breath and sucking it in, because it's all very well to be playing Lightning premierships and Ansett Cup matches, but for the 4 premiership points, it's a whole new game, Jared, and they look as though they've struggled.
Well, I think most players would realise now there's a big difference between pre-season training and match fitness, and Wayne Carey, who we can see just generally or pointing out some instructions to some younger players there, in particular Corey McKernan, has just been, I guess, an example of the way North Melbourne have played. They're just off the boil a little bit. We know Carey hasn't been able to handle the football for some weeks, and he does look just a little bit underdone. Ozzie Jones has had a pretty good quarter, in fact a good half of football. The Saints in general have struggled, but they're still sticking in there with a chance. They're only 10 points behind, and I'm sure they would go up the race pretty confident that they can turn this one around. So anybody's game at half-time.
Laser Vidovic faces Capuano, and they go for it. Well, neither of them really touched it from the ball up. It comes to Anthony Stevens, a hurried kick out of the middle, short of the 50. Here's Mark Stevens, number 38. Came from Gippsland Power in the under-18s. North work it well. The hand pass forward to Bell. A centering kick to Archer on the edge of the square. Caught behind. He's got a chance. A snap is good. Good goal by Archer.
Yeah, it was a great little one just around the corner, but it all stemmed from a quick kick out of the centre of the ground by Anthony Stevens. We see here both ruckmen failed to make contact, but there's that important kick, as important as any kick in football, just getting the ball forward to the centre. And here's Mark Stevens, quick hands, gets the ball onto Anthony Rock once again, who sets up Peter Bell. We've seen Peter Bell a number of times. He's had a pretty good first half in his first game for North Melbourne. Kick to the top of the square.
Well, we've been playing about 30-odd seconds, and that's North Melbourne's first goal for the second half. Much needed by the Kangaroos. Vidovic takes a well-earned mark in the centre, off to Winmar. Quiet first quarter, got back in the game in that second quarter. Burke unable to get the ball, back to Zilla. Now back to Nathan Burke, who has a chance to set it up. Steadies from 45 into the goal square and punched through for a rush behind. Good defensive work there by Capuano, the young North Melbourne ruckman. Directing traffic, Nathan. Organising the zone for the St.Kilda defence. Very important these days that they man up, but look, it's still too easy. They kick short and then follow on. All teams. Laidley over the top to Rock. The 1-2 to Laidley. Now under pressure. Forced to kick. Rushes it, kicks it high, straight to Winmar. Good strong mark under pressure.
Well, I don't think Dennis Pagan would call that perfection.
No. Winmar will kick from about 60.
Well, the game really needs somebody of Winmar's ability to take it by the scruff of the neck, because it's been a rather dull affair to date. But with so many talented players, it could happen at any moment.
The Winmar torpedo. Kicks long. Shane Wakeman unable to mark it. Off the ground by Tronides, good smother by Scholl. Now Mickey Martin off to Simpson on his true left boot. Mark Stevens unable to keep his feet, and not real good play. The sign of a good player are those that keep their feet. And a throw in now. Vidovic. Oh, Nathan Burke taken high, holding his face. I think the umpire may have seen that. Yes. And a free kick to Nathan Burke on centre wing for the Saints. Kick short and finds Robert Harvey. North Melbourne already kicked the first goal of this quarter in the first 30 seconds, and the Saints have one rush behind.
That's where Robert Harvey's at his best, when he's using his boot. He's so creative. He knew when to hold the ball up, he knew when to release, and it was when Stuart Lowe had got a couple of yards on his opponent, and now Lowe is set up for his third goal.
It's amazing, Jared, the better players do have the better vision, don't they?
Well, I imagine that's what makes them a better player, Russell.
Yes.
But I think also the ability and the confidence just to hold the football.
Yes.
Don't get rushed by the umpire or the time clock. Wait for the right option.
Lowy to kick from 45 on a pretty tight angle. Looks pretty good. He's put it straight through.
So the Saints continue to hold on here now. They're just 9 points in arrears. And with the likes of Winmar and Burke and Harvey still just finding their feet in this game, they're certainly not out of it. On the other hand, you've got up the other end of the ground Wayne Carey and Corey McKernan and Archer. Very talented players who are yet to really produce their best. So the game's still up for grabs.
A goal each to start the second half. Anthony Stevens, but Peckett takes the mark, finds Winmar. Nicky Winmar off the left boot, goes wide to Ozzie Jones. He's got Harvey going past, ignores him, goes longer, up towards the 50. Smith, he was spoiled. King, the spoiler kept going on Smith, holding his arm, and Smith will win the free kick. Joel Smith, 55 metres from goal. Sticks it in low for Lowe. Whistle's gone, it's a North free kick against Lowe to Martin. Interesting one, push, rules the umpire, and Mick Martin will take the free. Now to the back pocket to Laidley. Now straight up the ground, still dangerously close to goal. Simpson to Stevens. Now Stevens with a bit of length, puts it out in front of the runners and says, go for it. But Burke is too quick for Scott. Nathan Burke taken to the line by Scott, but the ball hasn't gone out. Scotty's got it. Smith with the number 1 crew cut. Burke gets the hand pass to Bardsley. He's run inside the 50. He's now about 30 metres out. Bardsley for goal. He's kicked the rimmer. Almost out of nothing, bottled up near the wing, and all of a sudden they've got a goal on the board.
And this is the worrying trend now for North Melbourne, because all of a sudden the St Kilda small men, the players that have got great endurance and athleticism, the likes of Bardsley and Ozzie Jones, are starting to just get on top of North Melbourne a little bit. And when a couple of goals go through from tight angles, momentum swings your way. Important 10 minutes now in this game.
Well, Bardsley, ex-North Melbourne player a few seasons ago, and is having a good lead up for this centenary season for the Saints. Winmar is getting a few touches. Burke the same, through both their legs. Winmar tries to tap back to Harvey and does so. Peckett on the burst from centre wing. Looking for Stewie Lowe. Great mark, and Stewie Lowe called play on. Trianides, clever with hands. Gets it away now to Stewie Lowe. Kicks from 45 close to the boundary line and puts it straight over for out of bounds on the full. Nicky Martin nursing a bit of a sore leg, and I'm sure he'll be okay. David King elects to kick straight up the ground and puts him under a bit of pressure. Stevens kicks it off the ground. Allison leading the charges. Gets round on his left foot and drives it inboard, and unable to take it is Simpson, but now Winmar getting plenty of touches this third quarter. Started off quietly, but now getting into the game. The Michael Tate medalist for 96. Joel Smith kicks it long. Looking for Wakeman now. Ozzie Jones on his left boot. The miracle one here a few weeks ago in the night series. Back to Wakeman. Has a chance if he steadies. Looks pretty good. And looks pretty bad for the Saints. One behind for Shane Wakeman. That's his first score for the game, replacing Peter Everett, who didn't pass the fitness test with a soaring.
But no doubt now the Saints have sniffed a bit of a chance here. They're starting to run. And North Melbourne really do have to get the ball up the other end of the ground to let their champions come into it. Because the Saints can fire on 3 or 4 goals in as many minutes.
Smith kicks in for North. Capuano and McKernan, the 2 big men. And Corey McKernan drags down the mark at halfback. Kicks to centre wing. Tough one for Rock. He was camped underneath it. Carey fires in the hand pass. Anthony Stevens on the run. He could go all the way and kick a goal here. They're closing on him, but from 40 he goes bang and misses. 1-1 for Anthony Stevens, and the margin 3 points.
Great passage of play by the Kangaroos, though, but both sides just having difficulty in putting it through. In fact, it's always tough to kick goals on the run after you've sprinted for 50 to 70 metres like you saw Anthony Stevens on that occasion.
Pickett finds Barsley in the pocket. North currently lead by 3 behinds. Under 15 minutes left in this third quarter. Barsley looks to kick long. Looking for Daniels. Punched on. Now Vidovic to try and eat. He's on the burst. Long left foot kick. Over Wakeland's head. Martin in front of Lowe. Cleans up for North. Looking for Blakey. 2 St Kilda players punching the ball. And a free kick too high. To John Blakey, was it? No, to Stevens. And play on to Blakey now. Gets a chance. Scott. Kicking up forward, but not a very well-directed kick. Straight to Ozzie Jones. A turnover. Pagan won't be happy with that one. Now, here's a chance. Burke kicking long. There's loose man. There's Joel Smith. Now has a chance. Turns around on his left foot. Looks very, very casual, and a very, very casual kick straight to mark. And a 50-metre penalty for encroaching over the mark against McLean. No, against Jack Daniels. Look very much alike.
Oh,
the 2 redheads.
These redheads, it's unfair. And I tell you what, twins should be barred from football. The Wakelands are a nightmare for commentators, as well as the Cockatoo Collins and the Phoebes. What's going on in football? Carey gets the hand pass in. Rock is run down magnificently, but the tackle was high. Oh, it was high, Jared.
Yes, well, I was just...
It was a bad tackle, actually. He should have grabbed him a lot lower.
I think that's the point, Russell. Was a pretty ordinary tackle. Certainly high and despite...
Go low. In the middle. Midriff. Up short of full forward. A huge pack. Crummer's needed. Burke for St Kilda. Back to Sirakoski. Sira takes his time. Takes a week. Oh. Brian, the father, wouldn't be too pleased. Played in the Premiership in 1966. He'll be watching this. So I might see him over in Perth tomorrow, now associated with the Eagles.
I don't think he had much to kick to, Drew, in all fairness. It's very easy up here to bag players, but let's give him the benefit of the doubt. Anyway, Harvey, back to Barsley. Peter Bell had a good first half for North, kicked a couple. Back to Bell, back to Blakey, rushed. Very high ball. They've been put under a lot of pressure by the St Kilda defenders. Try and eat, he's now a chance. Can he scoop it up? He does, to Peckett. Can't take full purchase. Now Ross Smith. Very scrappy game so far. Harvey sorts it all out. Gives it to Smith. Back to Harvey, back to Winmar. Here we go, the Saints. Jones now 1 bounce. 2 bounces. Tucks it under his arm. What can he do now? Chips it in and straight to try and eat. He's about 45 metres out from goal. An opportunity to put the St Kilda's 8th on the board. Kicks it to Anderson. He puts it straight through the middle. Dean Anderson.
Well, the Saints finally in the lead after North Melbourne took the lead in the 7-minute mark of the first quarter. They've held on to it until this moment in time when Dean Anderson has just put through St Kilda's 8th goal. They now lead by 3 points, and Ozzie Jones is having perhaps his finest game for St Kilda. Would be certainly in the best 2 or 3 on the ground at the present time. His vision and his skill is outstanding for such a youngster.
Saints by 3 points. Midway through the third quarter. Vidovic wins out of the middle. Chopped off by Scholl, who has a bit of a fumble and losing ground. Daniels grabbed him when he didn't have it. Play on, says the umpire. Burke fires a hand pass to Smith. St Kilda lifting. Off the shins of Martin, but it's right out in front of goal. Well done, McLaren. Lowe balked the hand pass. Lost control of it. Martin tidies up. Armstrong ducks into trouble. Loses it to Zilla. He's 52 metres out. Beautiful pass. Daniels has it 40 out. Hand pass over the top. Traianides has had a purple patch and kicks a goal in his first game. Jason Traianides, his second for the match. And the Saints by 9.
Well, North Melbourne, without Wayne Sloss on the ground, have lost one of their match winners that they can throw into the centre of the ground at a time of crisis. So they're going to need a lift from someone else, and perhaps even Wayne Carey will come into the centre of the ground for a couple of minutes. They need balls out of the centre. McKernan now into the ruck. Crisis time for North Melbourne in this opening match of their centenary year.
The Saints have kicked their 4th for the quarter, and they're looking pretty good. Anderson now off the half-back line. Kicked along the ground now for Scott. Bardsley with Peter Bell. Ex-Fremantle Docker. Bardsley too quick. Very, very clever play by Bardsley. Eyes on the ball. Kicks it wide straight to Ross Smith. There's been a whistle. Joe McLaren will take a free kick. Might have been against a North Melbourne defender on Bardsley after he kicked the ball. McLaren looking for Lowe. 1 on 3. Oh, Stewie Lowe. Got a bad knock in the first minute of the game. Looked as though he was in Disneyland for about 5 minutes. He's kicked 3 goals too and taken a sensational mark in the middle of the pack.
Well, what a pillar of strength. 18,000 tonnes of body weight coming down on him. And big Stuart Lowe just stands tall.
Lowe directly in front, 30 metres. There it is.
A container ship with hands.
Well, he's just a giant, and not only that, he moves with the speed of light. As we're pumping up there, Stu, but he certainly is a great athlete. But St Kilda really have turned this game around. They looked as if they were taking some time, perhaps even to convince themselves that they were good enough to knock North Melbourne up. But 15 points up halfway through the 3rd quarter, they've got the game by the throat.
And the Saints moving away, leading by 15 points, but North win it out of the middle through McKernan. They're inside the 50. A bit of a fumble there by Blakey. Allison slides the ball. Stevens keeps it too low. And Shanahan in the last line of defence takes the mark. Now the Saints have a chance to rebound. Out to Robbie Neal. 20-metre hand pass up to Joel Smith. The kick by Smith. And plenty of space for Peckett, just short of centre wing.
Well, Anthony Stevens will be screaming at the umpire now, because that was certainly a push in the back, 15 metres out from goal, and one that's cost North Melbourne.
Winmar goes past Anderson. Kick by Winmar, a bit high for Burke, but he's knocked it St Kilda's way and roves his own ball. Nathan Burke, beautiful play, goes the short pass, but it's chopped off by Smith. Hand pass to Martin. The game's come alive since St Kilda have woken up from their night premiership. Stevens into Rock, back to Stevens, who was a stationary target. Off the left boot he goes to McKernan at centre wing. And now North needing to lift. Kick by McKernan. It was a kick and hope, just up in the air. And Carey's there. The ball was touched on the way to him. Play on, said the umpire. Allison, the hand pass to Bell, 40 metres out. Open goal, Peter Bell. Away goes the ex-Fremantle Docker and gets the goal for North. His second for the day, and a much-needed one for the Kangaroos.
Yes, a certain amount of urgency now creeping into North Melbourne's game. Gone now is the that air, that lackadaisical air that was perhaps there for 15 minutes or so in the 2nd quarter. And Peter Bell doing very well in his debut for North Melbourne. 2 goals now, and that one certainly coming at a time when North Melbourne desperately needed it. They're 9 points down. They need the next one.
And a trivia question, is he the first Korean to play AFL football? Probably the answer is yes.
Would have to think so.
I think it might be. Vidovic to Burke under the pack. And another ball up. Might as well be straight in the middle of the ground, right next to the centre square. North kicked the first goal of this quarter in the first 30 seconds, and their second. Umpire Hanley with the big pants, puts it down. Carey in front. Oh, but McKernan with strong hands. What a great player. Chips it across. Shanahan will, yes, will intercept. Eyes only for the ball, Jamie Shanahan. Daniels now puts Smith under pressure, but he's too clever. One step and he's around. Good defence by King off the ground. Daniels now. It's kick to kick, St Kilda versus North Melbourne. Daniels now goes inboard. Looking for Anderson. Finds him on the point of the square. Needs to move it on quickly. He's got Vidovic on his own, right on the 50, and finds him directly in front. Lowy calling him on to have a shot. Big laser, looking to kick his first for the day, and St Kilda's 11th. Only his second kick. Spent a bit of time on the bench. Kick looks pretty good. Laser! Great goal. St Kilda's 11th.
Yeah, they've got a handy lead now of 15 points. But Vidovic knew what he was doing there. Over the years, we've seen that he is a tremendous shot at goal from a standing position. He doesn't get too many kicks, but when he gets them, he more than often makes them count.
Back in the middle for the bounce. And a handy break after trailing by 10 points at half-time. Jones, St Kilda on fire in this third quarter. Breeze is going their way, but it hasn't panned out this way until this third term. Low with Martin. Martin decides to keep the ball in for King. Underground hand pass for Laidley. And now Laidley happy to see it out. About on the 50. So a total turnaround in this third quarter. And one of the things that's happened is that Wayne Carey has started not to get the ball. He hasn't seen it too much in this third term. And Dennis Pagan starting to look a little bit worried. Hurriedly out by Anthony Stevens. Short of centre wing. Armstrong can't keep it in and we'll have a throw in. I reckon the crowd's built up. Decent crowd here today for this round one match. And in the first half, you'd swear blind that St Kilda hadn't really woken up from their night premiership. But in the third quarter, they've started to oil the machine. Harvey actually for the boundary throw in. And robes his own footy to Joel Smith. His hand pass astray, and that kick's gone straight out of bounds. St Kilda ball.
Robbie Neal, ex-Sydney Swan, and his first senior game for St Kilda this year, to take the free kick. 6.5 minutes left in this third term. Neal puts it up high and long. Vidovic can't mark. Scott, quick handball. High ball. Oh, good mark by Robbie Neal, using his body. Eyes for the ball. Off to Winmar now. Winmar gathering possessions. Off to Anderson. Keeping good possession now. Good smother by Simpson. That's what North needs, some desperate stuff. One of their youngsters, good to see. Armstrong, quick ball to Blakey. Winmar's direct opponent now. King very, very fast. A couple of bounces. Could go all the way. But good vision. Very good. Straight to Shoal. Too easy. Over the top. Peter Bell. And that's his third goal. Bell's third. North Melbourne's ninth. Still in it.
And a great surge here by David King, but unfortunately for St Kilda, Peckett had a chance at the tackle and he was a little bit too hot on it. Didn't anticipate the sidestep from Bell and he got around where in fact he should have buried him. But a good effort there by Peter Bell, kicking his third goal, and North back in it.
Back at Waverley, and North going forward again. A clever knock on, lands in the path of Stevens. He's run down, but gets the hand pass away. A chance here for Roberts. Haven't seen too much of Roberts today. Short pass to the forward line. Scholl. We don't see many kicks to goal for him, from him, and that is a goal. So Craig Scholl gets a goal. North get their second in a minute, and all of a sudden, it's back to a three-point game.
Well, the move of Craig Scholl to the forward line has obviously paid off. He's been involved in the last two goals, and this one in particular was a reflex one. Stevens coming through, just didn't see the St Kilda tackle coming. Perhaps a little bit fortunate not to get the free kick paid against him. Not a great kick from Mark Roberts, but that one was round the bend, an absolute pearler.
Well, Craig Scholl played for Victoria off the half-back flank and kicking his first goal for a while, but a much-needed one for the Kangaroos. Rock now leads him to the ball, taken high by Daniels, and that is the case. A free kick to Anthony Rock. Good first half, kicked 2 goals too. hasn't scored this quarter. A tough nuggety rover for the Roos. McKernan in front, punched by Sirakoski. Zilla. Wrapped up by Harvey and Zilla. And a ball up on centre wing. Just under 5 minutes left in the third quarter.
Traianides off and Tony Brown coming on for the Saints.
Armstrong. Very, very quiet. 3 kicks from Matty Armstrong. Unlike him, but he can only get better. Allison now lead up for Blakey. Good tackle by Winmar. Put him under pressure. And a free kick is called against Bell, and it's given to Barsley in the back pocket.
Great effort there by Nick Winmar to just get a hand on that player who just upset him a little bit, the kick going astray from John Blakey.
Rob Harvey in the back pocket. Getting plenty of touches. That's his 7th kick. Oh, big strong leap by Stewie Lowe now to Daniels to clean up. The Saints on the run with Zilla. Left footer into the forward line inside the 50. Vidovic can't mark. It's Martin and Jones. The pace may win out, but the ball beats them both over the boundary line for a throw-in on 65 metres out from the St Kilda goal.
Jared Carey back to half-back. He's tried there in the pre-season matches. Hardly had the ball since he's been there.
True, but he wasn't doing much at centre-half forward for North Melbourne. They were losing their grip on this game, so I guess Dennis Pagan was left with nothing else to lose.
Daniels finds Burke just inside the boundary line. Well, he's not far from goal. He's only about 25 metres from the behind post, but he could barely see daylight from there. About 3.5 minutes to go to three-quarter time. Kick the difference in this game at Waverley to open the season. He doesn't go for goal. He centres. Brown just back on the ground, can't take the mark. Laidley's there for North Melbourne to mop up. Picks out Roberts. Roberts goes for a run out of defence and then puts the kick to centre wing to Scholl. Should have taken the mark. Shanahan takes it away from him and very happy to see the ball out of bounds.
Shade of frustration there from Craig Scholl. A lot of anguish on his face, but it was an outstanding kick from Mark Roberts to set it up. But North Melbourne, just with Scholl going down there now, have got a more mobile target because Carey hadn't been leading at all, which is usually his forte.
Umpire Caulfield finds a free kick to Capuano for holding. This is controversial rule in that throw-in. McKernan, strong mark, free kick, whatever you want. Very, very good player. Corey McKernan, it's his 13th kick and he's taken 9 marks. Finds Mickey Martin, who's come up from full back. Great running by the North Melbourne defender.
Carey's back up there too.
Martin have a kick from 55. Wants to have a ping. Looks pretty good. Doesn't make the distance. It's play on. Archer now. Quick ball to Rock around the corner. And too far for one behind for Anthony Rock. His 3rd and North Melbourne's 14th. Vidovic coming off for a breather and McLean coming on for a run.
Well, back to 2 points the margin. And St Kilda just in front. They started the term 10 points down, got to 15 points up. But North have come back. Bardsley going for a run down the outer side. Shanahan leaving him, offering a lead, but he goes longer to Brown. It's snuffed away from Brown by Laidley. It comes to Shanahan. In space is Wakeland. The Saints looking $1 million here. The kick by Wakeland was too far for the forwards. And ducking into the hole is Armstrong, who, as Russell suggested, has been pretty quiet. Gets the ball across to Dean Laidley. Bell at full stretch. Mark not paid. Crumbs to Zilla.
Gone.
Simpson applied the tackle. Umpire says, holding the ball. And Simpson will take the free. Goes by hand. Back to Laidley. Minute 40 remaining in the third quarter. The dud-old kick bounces around near the centre of the ground. Shanahan the hand pass. Floating over the top, Anderson. Anderson gets it back from Daniels. Anderson's kick wide is pinpoint. And just inside the 50 is Joe McLaren playing in his first game.
Down to Stuart Lowe. He's one out in the square and Lowe is calling for it, or in fact he was. But I'd back Big Stewie one out against almost anyone.
Well, that ball was easy to punch away. McLaren has to follow up and do it all again. He's left it behind. Soccer off the ground by Smith, and the Saints another chance.
Interception by Armstrong, only for a whistle on play. Too high for Robert Harvey. Tackled in the Shepherd. Now see what Harvey can do. Looking for Sirikot. No, it's Neil on the run to the pocket. Not a real good kick, but now can Neil recover? Tries to get a handball. Mickey Martin too strong. Off to Stevens. A lot of fumbling going on. Must be something wrong with the footy. Kicks up to Blakey. Good hands. Straight to Armstrong on the burst. Long left foot up forward to McKernan. Can't mark. Peckett's caught. Good tackle. Holding the ball is the decision. Didn't have a lot of time to get rid of it. Needs to move it on quickly.
Big Corey could kick this goal from just outside the 50.
20 seconds to go. Anthony Rock, good strong mark in front of Bardsley. Good lead. Will be the last kick of the game.
Quarter.
Sorry, of the quarter. 10 seconds to go. And a chance to put North Melbourne in front.
Not a bad mark by Little Rover.
Very strong. Rock, kick 2 in the first quarter. That's all he has. 2 goals, 4 for Anthony Rock. And
it's tight.
North Melbourne 10-15-75 to St Kilda 11-10-76. 1 point the difference.
Well, we've got a pretty exciting game here, despite the fact that it's been scrappy and hasn't been the most spectacular display of skills. The scoreboard says that there's 1 point of difference. Both sides went into this game minus 1 key forward. John Longmire, who's gone for the rest of the season, was missing for North Melbourne. And of course, Peter Everett pulled out for St Kilda after failing a fitness test. In the opening minute, Wayne Swoss went down. Then Stuart Lowe went down. So there's been plenty of hard, tough bumps here. At the end of the day, it's going to be which side can stand up for the last 30 minutes. Which side can actually get the thing together, get their team pattern and their team flow going and get the all-important early goals on the board. So at 3/4 time, it's St Kilda with a 1 point lead. It's 11-10-76 to North Melbourne, 10-15-75.
Well, it's a point the difference. Vidovic to take on Capuano. Vidovic is the winner, but Rock gets one high, and it's a free kick to him right in the centre of the ground. Anthony Rock, 2 goals, 3 to his name. Both of those in the first quarter. Shanahan, oh, good mark. Went for the punch and got the second rebound.
Mark Roberts has been shifted to full forward, North Melbourne.
Vidovic finds Ziller out on centre wing. Wants to play on quickly. Does. Looking for Wakeland. There's a bit of a wrestle. They wrestle both to the ground. Carey cannot believe it.
So Carey at centre half back on Wakeland. Had an opportunity to kick probably 5 goals in the first half, but at this stage is only 1.
Wakeland looking for Lowe. Unable to get balance. Tony Brown taken, but play onto the call. Still very messy football. Laley's taken, and umpire Caulfield decides, well, I'll ball it up.
Jared, do you win a game by playing at centre half back on Wakeland?
You probably don't, Drew. You've got a fair point, but having said that, 3 handballs in the third quarter at centre half forward probably wasn't a great return, so Dennis Pagan has to try something.
Scrappy start once again to the final term. Tacklers hailing cabs left, right and centre. The umpire says, give it to me. Flag falls 250. 90 cents a mile.
Of course, Craig Scholl, who did go to centre half forward late in the third quarter, got a couple of important possessions and got a goal.
There's Wakeland and Carey this time the tackler. Slick hand pass comes out the back to Anthony Stevens, who had 10 kicks in the third quarter, Stevens, and 14 possessions. Laidley waits, floats the ball over to King. Thought about getting it back, but King went in. And any amount of North players near the centre circle. Blakey takes the mark. Hooks the ball up to the forward line. It bounces past Bell. Bardsley's done all right back there and kicked a terrific goal. Gets the ball back to Neil. Brown fights hard with Laidley for the ball. Oh, it's a tug-of-war at ground level. The crowd appreciated the effort there. The umpire's going to sort it out with the ball up.
Well, for suppose, North Melbourne viewers. You are missing Wayne Swass because he went off in the first minute or two with what we believe is a broken wrist.
A shocking start for the season for the man who's won the club best and fairest the last 2 years. Trianides is there. Whistle's gone. It's going to be a free kick to young Trianides, playing in his first game. Did all the pre-season with North, and here he is playing against them. To Joel Smith, off to Nicky Winmar, who made a quiet start, the Tuck medalist from last week, but he's coming good now. The kick drops short of low. Martin front position. Mickey's got it. And a paddock in front of him. He just hoists it high, and I think he saw a North Melbourne jumper, but it was somebody in the crowd.
Mate, that effort, just bad luck for him, wasn't it? He did so well against Jones and Lowy then. But anyway, Stevens back to Armstrong. Now Anderson leading for the ball in front of Scholl. Scholl's been moved to the forward line from that half-back line. He's kicked a goal in that third quarter. Bouncing ball. Oh, good play to Bell. Dodgers one. Here's a chance now. Handball to Roberts. Slopes into the goal square and puts it straight through the middle for the Roos.
And the Kangaroos have wrested back the lead and lead by 5 points.
And an outstanding piece of play there, not only by Mark Stevens, who does a terrific tap, but Mark Roberts, who was up around the middle of the ground. Watch this tap. Gets it down to Bell, who gets it down to Roberts, who has sprinted 75 metres, and that unselfish running has paid off for Mark Roberts, and it may well be 4 points for North Melbourne.
So North back in front and leading by 5 points after the Saints led by 15 during the third quarter. Ball up in the middle. And Vidovic slightly beats Capuano. But Stevens has had a big second half, gets the kick out of the middle, and Scholl takes the mark. 65 metres from goal. North do have the breeze in the last quarter, but the breeze hasn't always worked for you in this game. Ball out of play, taken over by Robbie Neal.
Well, just prior to Mark Roberts going on that big surging run up to the middle, then back, the North Melbourne runner went out to him, and I'm sure he had a cracker in his hand, because whatever he did, he certainly has lifted Mark Roberts.
Boundary throw-in, and Wakeland beats McKernan. Bell goes to ground, the former Fremantle docker. Robbie Harvey picks up, ducks the high tackle. He took it over the line, said the umpire, and we'll have a boundary throw-in by the man in the sky blue or the powder blue. The field umpires in a different outfit this year. Marvellous to see.
Oh, I love your fashion sense, Drew. Anyway, Wakeland gets away from McKernan, gets a rush kick to Winmar on centre wing. St Kilda need him to fire in this last quarter. Had a good third quarter to fire them up. Now decides to kick on his left foot. Looking for Shane Wakeland. He's in front of Carey. Wakeland inboard, only to find Dean Laley. Rock of Gibraltar in defence for the Northerners. Laley now plays on quickly. Finds Simpson. Simpson on his left foot, kicking into what's inside the 50. Bell in front of Bardsley. Took a strong one earlier, but Bardsley, too good, too fast. Oh, good smother by Simpson, but only for Burke to pick it up now. It's a centre wing for Tony Brown. Carey trying to settle the team down. Brown now plays on his left foot. Kicking long, looking for Wakeland. Over the top, unable to take the chest mark now. Daniels, long handball to Harvey. Oh, met front on by King. Oh, eyes for the ball only by King. Very good play. Kicks long. Carey unable to take the chest mark. Shanahan to recover. Bardsley kicks a high ball. Archer in front and takes a safe mark in defence for North. And 50 metres against Jason Daniels.
Let's just go back to that run of Kings. It was fantastic play, desperation stuff from the North Melbourne midfielder come defender. And he did unload with a 70-metre bomb, which just cleared the ball for North Melbourne. And we see there Archer taking a bit of a scream and then looking for a 50.
And finding it. Archer kicking in long, looking McKernan in front. One hand, Craig Scholl running to an open goal. There it is for the Kangaroos. Their 12th. And his second. North Melbourne looking to get the ascendancy so far. Been playing 6 minutes in this last quarter, stretching the lead to 11 points.
And it has been all North Melbourne. They certainly are much more aggressive up in that forward line. I think the move of Wayne Carey to defence has paid off only in that a number of the other players have come into their own, in particular Craig Scholl. So good effort there by Scholl. North Melbourne have set out the challenge.
North 87 to St Kilda 76. And North look to be finishing pretty strongly. Rock a high ball out of the middle to half forward. Anderson the punch. It comes to McKernan. Off the left boot, standing start to the 50. Ball knocked to the front. Comes back to Anderson. His hand pass is blocked. Scholl doing a top job. Wakeman, bang, down he goes. It comes North's way. Roberts gets it to the goal line for a goal. Well, North swamping the Saints at the moment.
And the fridge is just motoring along again. Big Mark Roberts, very, very mobile big fellow. He gets this ball eventually after a crash bang smother there from Corey McKernan. And Roberts, courtesy of a shepherd through by Wayne Carey, gets his second goal in 5 minutes. North Melbourne have laid down the challenge. It's up to the Saints now. Premiers last Saturday night to respond.
The Fridge has kicked two, both in this last quarter. Playing very well. It's what North need, and they're getting it from the seasoned campaigner. Ball up again. Ball going nowhere. Capuano on the bottom. Good young player. North looking for him to hold that ruck position down with McKernan for this year. Vidovic and Capuano. Winmar, big punch out of the centre. Good play by Shane Wakeman now. Here's a chance now for Daniels on his left foot. Looking for Harvey, using his body, unable to do it properly. Now Lowy, close to the ground. And good defence by Laley.
Well, the body Harvey was working on was Archer's. It's a pretty tough one to move.
Yeah, solid hips, Drew. Stewie Lowe and Mick Martin to battle the ruck.
Well, midway through the third quarter, the Saints were 15 points up, but North Melbourne have kicked the last 5 goals.
St Kilda need one now, desperately. Nathan Burke juggling one-hander, very clever. Just wants to set some play up now. On the 50. Points up North. Burke goes inboard, looking for Wakeland. Goes the big fly, can't take the mark. Now a chance for Zilla. Zilla and Blakey, body on body. It's Rock now, dancing around Zilla, back inside to Stevens. Back again to Rock. They're playing with the Saints now. Chock full of confidence, North. Not a real good kick now for Jones. High tackle by Stevens and Aussie Jones to take the free kick. 2 kicks out from the goal.
Kick by Jones, in short to Neal. He goes for a bit more distance. Burke, the only chance, flying from behind, interfered. And Robert Scott will take the free kick. Scott on the run. Now the left footer short of centre wing. McKernan front position and a beautiful mark. It's poetry when he hits the air. Off to Mick Martin. His kick to centre half forward. Bardsley's been a good player, but drops this one. Hacked out of there by Shanahan, who's back there playing on Carey. Overrun by Bardsley. Chance for Bell. He's kicked free, Bell. Anthony Stevens to Carey on the goal square. And the kick by Stevens bounces through for a behind.
Great coaching there from the North Melbourne bench, who sent the runner out to Corey McKernan, who was inside their offensive 50. Push him up onto the centre wing where he did take that mark to transfer play.
The crowd's just come through, a surprise, 23,434. Very disappointing for the reigning night premiers against last year's day finalists. 23 would be way under what the AFL expected, and that might ruin their chances of having an all-time record attendance for the round.
Well, it all depends on the Collingwood Carlton. If they get a full house tomorrow, it could go close, Drew. But anyway, I'm sure you'd expect probably 45 to 50 today. But it rained heavily last night, but it's been a great day for football. McKernan kicks up. Carey can't mark. Bardsley now to mop up. Off to Harvey. Harvey, one of many possessions today. Robbie Neal. The Saints need someone to set it up. Is he the man to do it? Kicks up towards Daniels. Daniels in front. Can't mark. He trips over. Simpson to clean up for North. Close to the boundary line. Handballs it to the ground. Very clever work by Simpson. Keeping it under control. Lately. Off to Stevens. Can't get a kick. Harvey now to Zilla. Caught, great tackle by Laidley. It's tough. Stevens, can he pick it up? He does now. He has control of the footy. Kicks up towards the centre of the ground. Oh, good mark. Juggled in one hand by Ellison. Ellison elects to plant quickly. David King on the burst. And Corey McKernan keeping control of it, keeping the ball in front of him. Good play by him off to Martin. Allowing Martin to run in. No pressure from 50. Kicks long. Up towards the square. And it hits the post. Great work by Mickey Martin. One behind.
They've had 3 posters, North, today.
17 behinds, North. Not very good kicking. Carey himself has 1-4. Stevens 1-3 and Rock 2-3.
19-point lead to North Melbourne. 10.5 minutes remaining in the game. Shanahan with pretty good stats. 10 kicks and 7 marks. Holding things up for the Saints. Comes in short. And the mark to Peckett. He goes right back to the back pocket. Interesting tactic to Bardsley. So they have to do it all again. And they change to the outer side of the ground. He's drawn a man. So he's left Robbie Neal in a paddock. Kicked by Neal to the centre of the ground. Anderson on the logo at centre wing. In he comes to Brown. The Saints need to come home with a rush to win this one. North went in favourites. But when the Saints led by 15 points midway through the third quarter, it looked as though the Saints' nightfall might continue. Simpson slides the little hand pass to Armstrong. Allison for North. It's been a stop-start affair. Pretty scrappy. You could make excuses, first round of the season, but both teams have had a lot of footy. Lightning Premiership, Ansett Cup. Simpson once more. Good kick, perfect kick, and the mark to King at full stretch.
Got a good player today, King. Right from the word go in the first minute when he poleaxed Stuart Lowe.
Goes for a bit of distance with the kick. Chance there for Scott, couldn't take the mark, it was Rock. Hand pass astray, Aussie Jones gets it. Neal. Saints on the run through Brown.
Brown looking for Daniels. Over Armstrong's head, but taken high by Daniels. Not a real good kick by Brown. Should have looked for more distance. Twice it's happened. They need more drive from the St.Kilda midfielders. Stevens now, another good mark. Allows Neal to grab the ball and wrapped up on the centre wing for a ball up.
One suspects that there's been a little bit of coaching of the umpires at half-time, because they certainly have applied the new tackling rule far better and far more consistently in the second half than we saw initially.
McLean wins the tap out straight to Burke, who replaced Vidovic a couple of minutes ago. Now Stewie Lowe on the 55. Lowe plays on quickly, looking for Winmar in board, and finds him. Nicky Winmar, 35 metres out, directly in front. St Kilda need this desperately. It will be their 12th. They are 19 points behind with 8.5 minutes to go in this final term. Deliberate shot. Looks pretty good. Nicky Winmar, great goal.
"13 points of difference here now at Waverley. The Saints certainly not out of it, but they have been looking a little bit one-dimensional with only Stuart Lowe, the big tall forward, certainly missing Peter Everett, more so in this quarter than perhaps other times in the game. And it has required the likes of Winmar to come down from the middle of the ground to get a goal.
North by 13 points after the goal by Nicky Winmar. In the middle, and McLean, the first game ruckman up from Tasmania. Bell for North Melbourne. Across the ground he goes to Scholl, who today has become a forward. And kicked 2 goals. From centre wing, in the direction of Carey. He's swamped. Wakeland got back there to help Shanahan. Traianides taken out of it by King, who goes very hard at the football. Into Rock. Had it for half a second, got rid of it quickly, but Shanahan left Carey and took a good sliding mark on 2 knees. Jamie Shanahan comes out short to Peckett, who takes the mark. The Saints still need to finish well. They trail by 13 points. 7.5 minutes remaining in the game. Anderson marks, half-back flank for St Kilda. They're working into the breeze in the last quarter. The ground, which was softened up by about an inch of rain last night, but it's been a perfect day for football, really.
This is where they need Stuart Lowe at centre forward, because there certainly is no option for those standstill kicks. The long bombs forcing them across the ground.
A stumble there by Darryl Wakeman almost brought them undone, but now the ball's been put out in front of McLaren, the first gamer, the youngster. The kick by McLaren in the direction of Lowe. Stumped out, but out in front of goal. Well read by Roberts.
Roberts has already kicked 2 goals this quarter, back in defence, and goes for the safety of the boundary line. And I'm sure Peter Bell's happy to see it go over under that sort of pressure.
But what about Stuart Lowe? It's pretty tough when there's 3 or 4 players hanging off you. They've got the ruckman dropping back on him, as has been the case all afternoon, only for the kicks coming in from St Kilda midfielders going over his head.
Free kick against Sierakowski for pushing in the ruck to Roberts. Roberts decides to go right across the face of goal and straight to Joel Smith. Now, if he moves it on quickly, we've got 6.5 minutes to go. A couple of kicks in it. Goes in short for McLean, and there he is, 40 metres out on a slight angle.
They grabbed him in the pre-season draft from North Launceston. He was coached down in Tassie by the famous David Rhys-Jones. But can he kick for goal when the pressure's on?
We will see in about 10 seconds. Andrew McLean, kick from 45. And only one behind. So Reese has taught him pretty well, has he, Drew? Not well enough.
Well, at least this kid hasn't been to the tribunal yet.
David Rhys-Jones, of course, coaching the Peninsula Dolphins. Good morning to Peninsula down in Frankston this season. Who knows if we'll see him at AFL level coaching one day.
Dean Laidley decides to kick out very long, finds McKernan on the centre square. What a great kick and a great mark by McKernan.
Been an outstanding player today for North Melbourne.
With strong hands, moves the ball quickly onto Stevens. Great running player, Stevens. Peckett, no, but it's been a free kick to Craig Scholl. He's had a good game at half forward so far today, Gerard.
Yes, since he was shifted there halfway through that third quarter, he really has lifted. He kicked a terrific goal there certainly when North Melbourne needed it to stem the flow of St Kilda goals that seem to be coming one after the other. And now Craig Scholl will be lining up for his third.
And a 50-metre penalty, Gerard, has virtually made a certainty of it.
And probably a certainty of this game, unless he can perhaps, unless he misses.
Well, he's going for goal number 3. Well, he's given the goal umpire something to think about, and he's missed it. Well, that looked a certainty. So that gives the Saints still a chance. 3 straight kicks to win it. And 5.5 minutes remaining, just under. 5 minutes 24. Fancy Scholl missing that. But I suppose, in the words of the classics, a typical backman's kick.
He just got a little bit close to the man on the mark, I think, Drew, and just laid back a little bit and pulled the kick. Sliced the kick.
Bardsley has had plenty of it today with now 20 possessions, but Bell, his opponent, has kicked 3 goals for North. Burke finds Winmar. The kick to the centre of the ground. McLaren flies from the back. The whistle's gone. It's a St Kilda free kick, and the man in front gets it, Darryl Wakeman. And listen to the St Kilda fans. It's as though they haven't had a free kick all day. And you might be able to count them up. What's the tally? 24-17 in favour of North Melbourne. Yeah, so that's a bit of an imbalance. Peckett from centre wing to Lowe. Oh, what a mark by Stewie Lowe. The man he beat was Mick Martin. And that was a tug-of-war with one man on each end of the rope. Magnificent contest.
Vital kick, this one.
Oh, it's a shocker. He sprayed it right off the side of the boot. McLean. Brown front of the pack. Well done by Scott to find Archer. And he goes straight ahead like a bulldozer. Archer to the centre of the ground. Still a chance for the Saints. But well done by Scholl again on the forward line. Carey one out with Shanahan. He gets rid of him. Carey gets about his first kick for the second half and goals. He looked like being a champ in the first half with his stats. Mind you, he couldn't kick straight. He kicked only 1 goal, and that's now his 2nd for the game.
Yes, and he really did have the opportunity in that first half to kick about 5 goals. They were all tight ones. They were on sharpest of angles, and he elected to go around and kick them around the corner. Some days they go through for you, other days they don't. But I think we can safely say that'll put them.
And that was indeed Wayne Carey's first kick for the second half. And it's a 19-point lead to North. That might just take the final breath of wind out of the Saints' sails. Near the centre. Kick smothered off the boot of Rob. McLaren, well played by the first gamer. Up to full forward. Sirakoski back into the pack and spread them. Brown, open goal. It bounces. Just misses and through for a minor score. Tony Brown, 1 goal, 1. And now it's 3 straight kicks. There's still 3 minutes 48 left. And I suppose you couldn't totally discount St Kilda, but I'd like to be on North at the moment. Big leap by McKernan to get the ball in the back of the pack. Simpson, been okay in just his 3rd game of AFL football. To half forward, Bardsley a good mark on Bell. Saints have to do everything quickly now. Robbie Neal, across the ground he goes. McLaren, the young recruit from the Geelong Falcons, looks a ready-made league footballer. A high ball, Burke takes the mark, centre wing out of side. The Saints are working into the breeze and need to kick 3 goals to get a draw. Winmar plays on Nicky Winmar. Gathers the ball beautifully. 45 metres out. Not the greatest of kicks. Trianides. Knocked away from low. Here's Wakeman right in front. 20 metres out. Ozzie Jones is there, but the North defence was there in numbers, and eventually Smith gets the ball across to Laidley, and they clear to the other side. And the mark's taken by Stevens.
Well, Jones was one of the better players on the ground up in the 3/4 time, but like a number of St Kilda midfielders, has really faded from the game in the last term.
Kick by Roberts inside the 50. McLean's back there, and Bardsley with a bit of a fumble. He's lost it to Bell. Whistle's gone. Free kick will go to Bardsley. And when you'd think that last foray forward might have been the Saints' last chance, if they could have got a goal from that, it'd still give them a hope. But it's tough now. 2 minutes 23 left. Peckett, short kick across the ground is dangerous. Anderson under the pump. Stevens the hand pass away. Bell for number 4. Open goal square. And he's done it. What a big day he's had in his first day for North Melbourne.
So a 4-goal lead now to North Melbourne, and Peter Bell has kicked 4 goals in his first game for North Melbourne. So what a night he's going to have tonight. What a smile on the face. Great to see a young player, after all the hard work of the pre-season, getting some of the spoils. What a transition that's come over this game, Drew. Midway through the 3rd quarter, it looked all St Kilda. North Melbourne have dug deep and really have shown a certain amount of steel to get right back in and take the 4 points today.
Yes, it looked like the premiership hangover was there in the first half and then was erased in the 3rd quarter. That's a long kick to Carey, but Shanahan got a glove for the ball and saw it through for a rush behind. But then maybe the hangover is having its greatest effect at the end of the game. Or whether it's hangover or whatever it is, they're being flogged at the moment.
That they are, but full credit to North Melbourne, who were really struggling. Threw their side around a little bit. Craig Scholl has been one of the key differences. And I think also McKernan in the ruck. Stevens throughout the middle of the ground. I think also Glenn Archer, not many possessions, but lots of desperation, particularly when he went into defence.
At centre wing, Sirakoski for St Kilda. A long kick inside the 50. Low charges at it. Fortunately, it comes to him. The hand pass into Brown. 40 metres out right in front. Goes for the goal square. Sprays it. It bounces back. But through for a behind. His second behind in the last couple of minutes. Because we built up the hopes for the St Kilda fans, and they certainly did by winning the night flag last week. But last year they did finish 14th with only 8 wins, and North were 3rd. So whether you can judge a team's prospects totally on an Ansett Cup is a moot point. Armstrong from the back pocket.
I think it's got to be said also, Drew, that North Melbourne have achieved this victory really without the services of Wayne Carey, who's had a fairly ordinary day. And also the other Wayne, in Wayne Swass, who was taken from the ground the first couple of minutes.
Yes, we believe with a broken wrist for Wayne Schwass, their best and fairest for the last 2 years, so that'll be a big loss.
Great determination there from Corey McKernan. 3-on-1, he's come up trumps.
Yeah, he's had a great day, McKernan. King floats the hand pass to Bell, might add to his 4. Out to Scholl, working in very little space, and the ball over the boundary line. We're in the last minute of the game, and reason for North Melbourne to celebrate this. They went in as favourites, but it was sure a danger game, coming back to the venue where the Saints had such a big win last week over Carlton in the Ansett Cup Grand Final. Clean possession to McLean, a first gamer, but it's come underfoot. And the umpire will have to ball it up. Nathan Burke, the co-skipper with Stewie Lowe, the last to get to his feet. But isn't it great to have the football back, and the recriminations that will go on, the whys, the wherefores, the hopes. Have any hopes been dashed? Have any premiership hopes been built up? It's round one of a long season. Gee, there's a long way to go. The umpire will have another ball up. This will be the last play of the game. There's the siren. And North Melbourne have defeated the Saints. They've started the season well, and the margin finished up being 4 goals, which was probably as much as the margin was all day, and that's what it was at the final siren, with North Melbourne 15-19, 109 to St Kilda 12-13, 80.